going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel TV. St James's Park. Beyond them buildings in the background there, I was going to do fan cams tonight, but can't lie, just not in the mood. I don't fancy interviewing people when I'm miserable, and I think everyone else leaving St James's Park tonight is miserable on a cool Wednesday night. Probably got work in the morning and everything. Fan cams would have definitely happened if I would have even got Europa League. If I had just got a draw tonight, I would have classed that as a bit of a celebration that we're still in Europe. I'm honestly wounded, people. I'm absolutely wounded. Absolutely gutted. Absolutely gutted. This is the PSG scarf from the Parc des Princes. Not showing the PSG sign there who got through, because if anything, it comes back to PSG and it comes back to that UEFA corruption for me. It comes back to being absolutely robbed in that stadium that I was at a couple of weeks ago, because of Newcastle win that like they should have in Paris, and PSG don't get that dodgy, disgraceful, disgusting last second penalty. We get 3 points that night, and all we require at St James's against Milan is a draw, and we would have easily got that. So it comes back to that, to be honest. It comes back to that robbery in Paris for me. It comes back to disgusting corruption from UEFA and the VAR decision that awards PSG that despicable penalty where Mbappe slots at home, because that's what's cost us in the end. Listen, that squad that went to Paris, depleted, knackered, everything, deserved that historic win, and that robbed us of that, and it's robbed us of getting through in the Champions League, or at the very least, Europa League. Because of that result in Paris tonight, we needed to at least draw to get Europa. But to be honest, I think it was Champions League or bust for Eddie Howe. He talked about it in the press conference where he said that they obviously wanted to stay in the Champions League. Obviously he's going to say that, but I get the sense that the club and Eddie Howe and the players wanted Champions League or nothing, because I think they've had the taste of Champions League. They've had that anthem ringing out every match day. They've had the big games of your Dortmund away and your San Siro's and everything else, that they wanted that. I'm not sure if dropping down to the Europa suited them, or they had that motivation for that. And listen, next season we may count ourselves lucky if we finish top 6 or top 7, the way the table's looking and the way Aston Villa are playing and everything else. If we get Europa League or even Conference League at this point, listen, we're 7th at the minute. We may count ourselves lucky to be in any form of European competition next year, but this year, I think with already being in the Champions League, it's hard to maybe accept dropping down a tier into the Europa. For me, it would have been fine. I've said it all along. I think finishing 3rd was obviously better than finishing 4th, but for me, I wanted to see that Europa, the European adventure continue and have those European away days. I would have took that on a Thursday night, better than no night. And I think we could have honestly went on far in that competition. I think we could have went a long way in that Europa League. I think, listen, the finals in Dublin, Liverpool are still in there. West Ham got to a semi-final in that competition a couple of years ago. I think we honestly could have went far in the Europa League. Champions League, listen, the journey would have been amazing. The next European away day would have been class. I've had such an incredible experience following Newcastle United around Europe, in Milan, in Paris and in Dortmund. Something I never thought I'd be able to do. Listen, I started this channel 5 years ago and we were doing Preston away, Rochdale away, all of this. Do you know what I mean? I never thought I'd get these European adventures. So I'm pleased for that. I'm grateful for that. But at the same time, I guess like the players, when you get a taste for it, you want a bit more, and when you realise you can't have a bit more. In that first half, we dominated it. We're going to that break 1-0 up. Joe Linton, fantastic finish. Unbelievable work by Louis Miley for the assist. And we're going 1-0 up, we're cruising, and I'm literally saying at half time at the lad next to me, I'm saying, this is too easy, this. I'm worried, I'm nervous, because I think this is too smooth, it's too easy. And I think poor game management tonight. I think we should have took more chances. The game should have been put to bed even before Joe Linton puts us 1-0 up. Almiron refuses to use his right foot again, waits for it to cross on his left. It's a fantastic clearance on the line, but Miggy has to use his right foot. He has to use his right foot. He should bury that, and we should be 1-0 up early, and I think that changes things even more. Joe Linton obviously does put us in the lead on the 33rd minute, I think it was, and we're 1-0 up at half time. But if we can get that goal a bit earlier and then get 2 or 3-0 up, then it could change everything, because I think the energy was fully exerted in the second half, and I think Milan had a bit of a boost when they knew it hit a 60-minute mark. I think they planned for that. They knew that we would tire, they knew that we would fatigue, and they seen that coming, and their game plan suited that, because they did nothing. They did absolutely nought until they scored that goal. Not a single thing. They barely touched the ball. They got nowhere near our final third, and then they go ahead and they score the goal. It's just onside. It went to VAR. It is onside. They score. And then having the ability to bring on a Chuamenzi or whatever he's called, you know, he's a dangerous player. He was always going to cause a threat, and he did. He scored 2-1 on the counter from us. Fabian Shaw gets caught out while we're seeking our winner. At that point, do you think, is that poor game management? Do we just hold on to the draw and think, right, we'll settle for Europa here? At least we go all guns blazing, we'll go gun-ho, we'll go all out attack, and we'll go for the win, and we'll go to try and get into the Champions League next round, where maybe should have just sat back and cemented the draw and got Europa and just took that third place, because at one point St James's Park was buzzing. It was going round that Dortmund were winning 1-0. We were winning 1-0. It was absolutely perfect. You thought, what a night this is. This is magical. This is momentous. This is what we thought it could and hoped it would be. What Eddie Howe said it would be as well. You know, like a real memorable night on Tyneside. But it wasn't meant to be. PSG quickly equalised, and then we know the rest in the Newcastle-Milan game. You know, Milan go on to... I'm scratching my head in disbelief how we're out. Honestly, I'm scratching my head. I'm miserable, I'm gutted, I'm depressed, I'm devastated that we're not at least in Europa League. I can't believe that we're actually out. And let's be honest, it was the group of death. It sums up Newcastle United's cup draws this season, that it is the group of death, and it was always deemed impossible to get out of. Everyone laughed at us, thinking, well, you know, you're going to be knocked out by Christmas and you're not going to have a hope in hell. And then the first game comes round and we're back at Paris Saint-Germain 4-1 at St James, and you think, well, we're on to a winner here after drawing at the San Siro and beaten after a couple of games. And you think, you know, this is it, we're good, yeah, easy. But it turned in the end. Listen, AC Milan have unbelievable European pedigree. They were in the semi-final of the Champions League last year. Obviously, they've lost a few players, key players, like Tonali, who's now at us, who obviously can't play. We'll not get into that. And, you know, your Dortmunds of this world who know how to do it, and your PSG who've got all the money and got all the corruption, got all the bribes, because that's the thing that bugs me the most. That penalty at the Parc des Princes a fortnight ago is the one that bugs me the most, because if that's not given, we win 1-0. That goes down in Newcastle United folklore history, and then we go on to at least get something tonight. I believe that. I truly believe that. But it gives PSG belief, and it gave Milan belief tonight, and they were happy with Europa League. And like I said before, maybe Newcastle should have been happy with Europa League. Newcastle maybe should have just thought, you know, it's our first season. We have way and beyond exceeded expectations of getting in the Champions League, of getting in Europe. We've got the group of death. We've tried. We've been bumped. We've been ripped off. Shall we just take Europa and go on? I think we should have. I know there was a lot of people tonight saying, you know, if we don't get through, or even people were saying, just bin it off because of the squad issues, because of the injuries, because of the FA Cup draw against Sunderland coming up the Derby day, because of obviously the Premier League fixtures that we've had back-to-back crumbling defeats away from home. You know, people are saying, oh, we haven't got the squad, we're not ready, just get rid of it, get rid of Champions League. Not for me. Like, I think tonight, I thought we were at least going to get a draw. I thought we were at least going to get Europa League. And like I said before, I honestly believe we could have went far in that Europa League. But we've been beaten tonight. It's not meant to be. It's not meant to be, people. Hopefully our time will come. Hopefully that's not it. I'll be devastated if we don't get any European football next year. Because let's be honest, Champions League will be a real push. Villa are there now. Man United are struggling, yes. Chelsea are struggling, yes. But at the minute, what's the top four? Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, Aston Villa. The opportunity might be there, especially with strengthening in January, to try and push for top four. But I'll tell you what, if people are saying they're not happy with Europa tonight, I'll take top six all day long next year. I'll take Europa League. And even so, obviously, fifth might get Champions League this year, but that depended on how well the English teams have done, the coefficiency rule. So we haven't done well. Manchester United knocked out last night. Newcastle United knocked out tonight. I'm just gutted that we couldn't carry on this European journey, but I'm so proud of the lads. You know, they tried their all. First half, they were fantastic. They found that energy. The 12th man from the crowd carried them over. I'm just gutted we couldn't get that extra goal to give us that bit of leeway, to give us that extra sniff of the lead to see us through tonight. But at half time, 1-0 up, I thought we were at the very least, going to get a draw there. But AC Milan on the counter, on the break, took the chances. Leao hit the post as well. Bruno, I think that's the turning moment, you know, when it's 1-0 us and Bruno's save is tipped onto the post. tipped on the crossbar, you think, oh, what's going on here? And that's the moment where you think, it's not our night. And it wasn't meant to be our night. It's painful, it hurts. But that's football. Hopefully the players will learn from it. We'll learn from it. We'll gather this European experience and we'll come back stronger. If you want to be positive, I suppose the bonus is that this wafer-thin squad that tonight, I've seen a lot of people that put on social media about the full-time thoughts. A lot of people are actually slating Eddie Howe tonight, saying he got the subs wrong. You know, he brought off Gordon, brought on Isaac, he brought off... who else did he bring off? Trippier, brought on Dan Burn, and he also brought on Sean Longstaff. So there's no what you think about the subs, but I don't know. It was nice to actually be able to make subs for a change. And like I said, the one positive I suppose is that we can focus on the Premier League now with the bare capabilities that we've got in this squad. You know, the lack of depth we've got. Hopefully your likes of Barnes and stuff aren't far off, and then January comes round and we can make some signings. And obviously we've got that huge game on the 6th of January at the Stadium of Light, so there's still plenty of play for, but it just does feel very painful and deflating tonight. I'm absolutely devastated, people. I'm going to go to bed now, probably not sleep tonight, be absolutely gutted. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Subscribe to my channel TV. Remember, merchandise, hats, hoodies are now available as well on the website, themapbychannel.com. Cheers for the support. Drop your thoughts below. See you on the next one.